If you're about to do your first paid shoot, this is what I wish someone told me. My name is Patrick, I'm 21-year-old filmmaker from Croatia. Officially, I had my production company for a bit more than a year now, but I've been doing professional work for quite a bit more than that, and I've been making films and shorts and things of that nature for around 10 or more years. My first professional shoot was not actually paid in like money or cash. It was exchange of services. It was with fun park called Amazinga. I offered them to make them some videos and some photos, and I asked in return to get kind of their daily passes to, go jumping on trampolines and maybe bring my friends around so we can all go and hang out in that fun park. Now, I know what you're gonna say. It wasn't officially paid work because they didn't give me money, but for me it wasn't the same level because I felt the same kind of pressure, I would say, because I'm providing something for them, but they are providing something that holds real monetary value in return. It's no longer just a favor for a friend. Over prepare and then simplify on set. There is a lot of things that can go wrong on set, so be prepared beforehand. So, have SD cards, have extra SD cards on hand, backups if one fails, because that has happened to me actually on shoot, and it was great that I had backups with me. Have extra batteries, and of course, triple check that you have packed everything that you're gonna need for that shoot that you have, because you don't want to show up on a shoot, without camera batteries or SD cards or something like that. So over prepare every time, and that's really important because you're gonna give yourself a peace of mind as well. The next one is communicate way more than you think you actually need to communicate, because that's literally something that I'm still struggling with, and I'm still trying to improve in that field a lot. But client is not in your head. Even if you did like storyboards and the script and the client approved everything, they're not in your head. They don't know what's happening in your head, and in your head you have a vision, but it's really important that you do your best to communicate your vision as clearly as you can to the client that hired you. And because you don't want to leave, gray areas and client wondering, oh, how is this going to be like cut together? How is this going to work? Because the more you can make the guesswork easier on clients, the higher are the chances that they're gonna call you back, because if they don't have to wonder on how things are gonna be done because you communicated everything on set and beforehand, they're gonna be really grateful for that. So communicate way more than you think you need to actually. Don't do condescendingly over explain stuff, but communicate why are you doing these shots, how are you gonna cut them together, and just communicate with the client and tell them your process and your thought process and everything that goes into making something. Of course, if they are around you and they're interested. If they are not on set, don't call them and be like, okay, now we are filming the shot B. The next one is you are going to feel underqualified. For my first time ever working with Amazinga, I was tasked to take some pictures of karting, go-kart races. And I went there and I was with my camera, and I only had one lens at a time, or I think two lenses at a time. And it was not a super big zoom lens. And I was a beginner, and the other photographer showed up and he came with this big, I think it was 70 to 200 millimeter lens. And I was like, oh my God, I am such an amateur here. What am I even doing? So yeah, you're gonna feel underqualified, and that's just normal, but it's important that you work through that. And again, client hired you for a certain reason, and that's the only thing that matters. And what matters to you is that you deliver the highest thing that you can deliver to them. And for me, in that situation, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna take horrible pictures. I don't have that big of a zoom. But in my personal situation, I literally just made some adjustments to my camera specs, to not my camera specs, but to my camera settings, shutter speed, and I kind of created my own vision of what the karting pictures could look like and should look like, and I communicated that with the client, and then I did the edit, and they were again really happy with how they turned out and how the pictures turned out, even though I didn't have super massive zoom. But I figured it out. I figured out what I can do, and I figured out my strengths. So you're gonna feel underqualified at certain points, as of course, but it's important that you work through it and that you kind of push into what your strengths are, and that you do not let yourself just quit because you feel underqualified. This one is really important, and it's to be calm on set. A lot of people are gonna start freaking out if things go wrong, or I don't know, if the talent is not working the way you want them to work, if they're not delivering what they want you to deliver, or I don't know, maybe your card failed or your battery dies or something bad happens. But it's important that you protect your energy and that you stay calm.
I'm gonna kill myself!
And it's, do not panic. Turn on the puzzle solving part of your brain and figure it out, because client is, again, not interested in you panicking. They're interested in you delivering what you promised to deliver. So be creative and do not panic. Stay calm, problem solve, and resolve anything that potentially pops up. And if you can't, again, approach the client calmly and say, okay, hey, there's been a problem, there's been a malfunction with the gear, I try to do this and that to fix it, there is no way to fix it, can we postpone the shoot? And approach them calmly, explain the situation. They're probably gonna be more than understanding, because again, if it's something that you cannot control, they're not gonna probably be like freaks and yell at you for, I don't know, a camera malfunctioning, because there's nothing you can do about it. So stay calm, try to solve the problem, if not, communicate it calmly again to the client. Take yourself seriously. If somebody is paying you, they are paying you, which means you are a professional. You are no longer just a guy with the camera, you are there to work, so kind of act like it. Stay on the professional level. Don't, go around chatting with people when you're supposed to be working, and kind of find that balance. I'm not saying, again, you have to be like an emotionless robot that I've said in the other video, but have a balance of when you have to work, because people are paying you to work. So remain professional, don't be in the way. And if you're working with other people, do not get in their way and make their job as easy as can be, especially if you're working with maybe like actors, or you have an assistant camera or a sound person. Do not be a nuisance, do not be a bother. Make their job as easy as you can make their job, and just be as professional as you can be, because you're being paid for this work. So it's not really time to just mess around. And the worst thing you can do is like look unprofessional and be laughing with your assistant, and then the client goes to you and be like, hey, you missed this shot that you had to take, or any similar situation like that. I've personally never had that, because my dad taught me everything in like being super professional on set and etiquette on set. So that's really important. If you want me to do a video on like professional etiquette on high level sets, let me know in the comments, because I will be more than happy to share my knowledge and experiences on super high-end professional sets and how you should act on them. And I'm gonna say something that might sound a bit controversial, but your first shoot is not about you trying to prove that you are perfect at what you do, because let's be realistic, if it's your first paid shoot, you're probably not gonna be perfect at what you do. But that's not the point. The point of your first shoot is to prove to those people that you are someone that they will want to work with again. So maybe even if you screw up, fix it as fast as you can, as professionally as you can, handle yourself as a professional, deliver on time. And it's the point of like your first professional shoot, is to prove to those people that you can work good, that you can solve the problems, that you can be professional, deliver on time, and that they can count on you. And even if you mess up, you can fix it, or do your best to fix it and remain composed. So your first shoot is not about proving that you are perfect, because you're not gonna be perfect. It's about proving that you are somebody that the client is gonna want to work with again. So yeah, you're probably gonna mess up, probably a couple of times. I did, and I think every beginner did at some point, because you're a beginner, you're still learning yourself, and that's fine. It's important that you remain composed, that you fix the problem, that you remain as professional as you can to those clients. And the most important thing is, do not let that stop you from working more, from pushing further, from like seeking more clients. Do not let the fact that you're gonna mess up discourage you from doing it, because if you really want to do it, the only way to learn is to mess up. So don't let that discourage you from doing it, because it's such a great job and it's beautiful. So yeah, you're gonna mess up, but it's fine. Try to not panic, stay calm, and it's gonna be amazing. Those would be some things that I wish somebody told me before my first paid shoot. Let me know if they helped you, let me know if they inspired you. Like, subscribe, stick around, because a lot more great projects, tips, gear, and everything in that niche is coming along the way in 2026. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.